Hello and welcome to the 2021 to 2022 Annual Action Plan for HUD Community Planning and Development Funding webinar. In this presentation, we'll introduce you to the draft 2021 to 2022 Annual Action Plan and invite interested members of the community to submit public comments during the public review period from March 19th, 2021 through April 20th, 2021. We'll begin with a short overview of the HUD community planning and development programs that the city participates in, then discuss the city's 5-year plan priorities. Following that, we'll review the specific activities proposed for funding in the draft 2021 to 2022 Annual Action Plan, and finally provide information on how members of the community can submit public comments on the plan. HUD CPD is the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's Community Planning and Development Office. The Office of Community Planning and Development, or CPD, seeks to develop viable communities by promoting integrated approaches that provide decent housing, a suitable living environment, and expand economic opportunities for low and moderate income persons. The primary way HUD CPD does this is through the development of partnerships among all levels of government and the private sector, including for-profit and nonprofit organizations. In the next slide, we'll talk about how the city partners with HUD CPD to help meet these goals. The planning process begins with the Consolidated Plan, which is a 5-year plan that HUD requires the city to prepare, outlining the key goals and how the city will generally allocate the funds provided by HUD to the city over the term of the 5-year plan. The city completed the most recent 5-year plan in 2020. Each year, the city applies for annual funding from HUD through an annual action plan, which describes how that year's funds will be used to meet the needs of the public and the priorities outlined in the 5-year consolidated plan. The activities which are approved for funding in the annual action plan are then completed through agreements with community-based organizations, developers of affordable housing, and units of local government. There are 6 priorities in the 5-year consolidated plan, and we'll discuss each briefly. The first priority is to provide assistance for the homeless and those at risk of becoming homeless through safe, low-barrier shelter options, Housing First collaborations, and associated supportive services. The city's 5-year goals include providing rental assistance or rapid rehousing assistance for at least 900 homeless persons, and to provide overnight shelter or street outreach services for at least 2,500 persons. We should note that the city will also try to implement approaches that exceed these goals, and the city also receives funding from other sources which we anticipate will allow us to deliver more activities to address homelessness. The next priority is to improve access to affordable housing for low-income and special needs households by partnering with interested developers to increase development of low-income and affordable housing in high-opportunity areas, and by promoting the preservation and rehabilitation of existing affordable housing units. The city's goals over the 5-year period for affordable housing are to add at least 130 affordable rental units, add at least 50 new homes for low and moderate income homebuyers, and to rehabilitate at least 220 homes owned by low and moderate income persons. The next priority is to promote quality of life and neighborhood revitalization through improvements to current public infrastructure and facilities, and by closing gaps in areas with aging, lower quality, or non-existent public infrastructure and facilities. The 5-year goal for this priority is to provide neighborhood infrastructure or facility improvements in low and moderate income neighborhoods to benefit at least 50,000 persons. Examples of projects that meet these needs are street and sidewalk improvements, or facility improvements at parks and recreational facilities in low and moderate income neighborhoods. The next priority is to provide services to low-income and special needs households that develop human capital and improve quality of life. The services that we can use these funds to provide are very broad and include services for youth, seniors, health services, employment training services, child care, drug abuse, education, energy conservation, or recreation. The 5-year goal is to provide public services that directly benefit at least 11,300 low and moderate income persons. Also, as part of this priority, the city has made the goal to provide technical assistance to low and moderate income entrepreneurs looking to start or expand their businesses within the city of Fresno, with a goal to assist at least 200 entrepreneurs. The final 2 goals are to provide services to residents and housing providers to advance fair housing, and to plan and administer funding for community development, housing, and homelessness activities with improved transparency, increased community involvement, and full compliance with all federal regulations. Now that we've introduced the 5-year goals, we'll review key elements of the 2021 to 2022 Annual Action Plan, which address these priorities. The Annual Action Plan is also the city's required application for federal funding for the program year, which begins on July 1st, 2021, and ends on June 30th, 2022. For the plan year, the city anticipates receiving approximately $12.6 million through the following programs. The Community Development Block Grant is used primarily for infrastructure and facility improvements, owner-occupied home repair programs, community services, and fair housing services to benefit low and moderate income persons. The Home Investment Partnerships Program may be used to develop or rehabilitate housing that is affordable to low and moderate income persons, or to provide assistance to home buyers and renters. Housing opportunities for persons with AIDS/HIV funds are used for persons with AIDS/HIV and their families to provide housing services such as rental assistance, transitional housing, and housing information services. Emergency Solutions Grant funds must be used to benefit persons who are homeless or at risk of homeless, as defined by HUD. Services allowable under this program include street outreach, emergency shelter, homelessness prevention, and rapid rehousing services. The 2021 to 2022 proposed funding by priority category is provided on this chart. Approximately $5.14 million will be used to support affordable housing activities, $3.3 million will be used for public infrastructure activities, $1.06 million will be used for community services, $1.25 million for homeless and homelessness prevention activities, $1.76 million for administration and compliance, and $85,000 for fair housing services. Specific activities are selected through a Notice of Funding Available, or NOFA, process. The NOFA was published on February 5th, and applications were due on March 5th. On the following slides, we will present the activities proposed for funding in the 2021 to 2022 Annual Action Plan. For homeless and homelessness prevention, the city is recommending the following programs. $101,457 of ESG funds are proposed for Marjorie Mason Center to support emergency shelter services for adults and their children made homeless and/or at risk of homelessness due to domestic violence. Funds would support costs for emergency services, including 24/7 hotline, crisis response, emergency shelter, and expenses related to emergency shelter support services such as food, mental health support, case management, and coordinated entry system services that assist with longer-term housing and overall stability. $57,780 of CDBG funds are also proposed for Marjorie Mason Center to support services for individuals impacted by domestic violence who are either homeless or at risk of homelessness due to the abuse. Funds through this program will be allocated to support 3 rooms in the emergency safe house that will be used to provide up to 90 days of support to individuals or families with low and moderate incomes, rather than the 30 days typically allowed. In addition to increasing the length of time clients can receive shelter, Marjorie Mason Center is proposing to enhance services by implementing evidence-based therapeutic programs for clients and evidence-based clinical training to counselors. $95,683 of ESG funds are proposed for Pavarello House's Homeless Outreach Progressive Engagement, or HOPE team, to provide street outreach to people experiencing homelessness that live in the city of Fresno. The purpose of the team is to link people experiencing homelessness to navigation services and shelter. $105,733 of ESG funds are also proposed for Pavarello House's Rapid Rehousing Program to provide direct case management and rental support for those experiencing homelessness in the city of Fresno for up to 1 year. This program will support security deposits, pay for costs associated with PG&E arrears, and direct rental support. Case management will work with program participants during this time frame to develop a plan to sustain housing beyond the Rapid Rehousing Program support. $236,988 of ESG funds are proposed for West Care's Project Unite to continue providing rapid rehousing and homelessness prevention services. During the grant period, Project Unite will conduct weekly outreach activities in order to establish supportive relationships with the street homelessness population, providing linkages and support to enable them to move off the streets and into housing. $692,831 of HOPWA funds are proposed for West Care's Living Room. The lead agency is proposing to partner with Fresno Housing Authority to continue providing short-term rental and mortgage assistance, tenant-based rental assistance, transitional housing, homelessness prevention, rapid rehousing, supportive services, and housing information to homeless and at risk of homelessness individuals affected by HIV/AIDS and their families in Fresno. The primary goals of the proposed program are to help participants achieve both permanent housing and health stability. $21,231 of ESG funds are proposed for Fresno Housing's Homeless Management Information System for the purposes of gathering and analyzing community data from various programs, including Emergency Solutions Grant. This system will be used to assess the effectiveness of the homelessness response system and inform decision-making and housing and services needs for individuals and families. For affordable housing, the city is proposing the following programs. $360,000 of CDBG funds are proposed for Fresno Economic Opportunities Commission's Roof Repair and Replacement Program to repair and/or replace roofs on approximately 25 to 30 eligible owner-occupied low-income homes located in southwest Fresno. If the home's electrical panels do not support the addition of a solar photovoltaic system, the electrical panels will also be replaced. The geographic location to be served would include the project area identified by the City of Fresno's Transform Fresno project. $334,046 of CDBG funds are proposed for Self-Help Enterprises' Home Repair and Rehabilitation Program to execute emergency, minor, and substantial housing rehabilitation to remedy property maintenance, age, health and safety, and/or housing code issues of existing single-family residential units for low-income owner-occupied households. Self-Help Enterprises staff will collaborate with homeowners and contractors to improve key building features including roofing, windows, walls and flooring, and property systems such as basic plumbing, electrical, cooling, and/or security. $334,046 of CDBG funds are proposed for Habitat for Humanity's Housing Rehabilitation and Repair Program to provide critical home repairs to eligible City of Fresno homeowners to continue to support safe and healthy living conditions for low-income owner-occupied homes. $353,306 of CDBG funds are proposed for the City of Fresno's Housing and Community Development Division for its senior paint program to pay for a licensed lead-certified painting contractor to paint the exterior of homes and may include minor repairs, for example, screens, broken window panels, loose or damaged gutters, and the like. This program serves low-income seniors, 62 years of age or older, who own and occupy their homes. Funds will also be used for program delivery costs associated with owner-occupied home repair programs. $3,272,586 of home program funds are proposed to be used for affordable housing development or substantial rehabilitation, and $493,452 of home funds are proposed for affordable housing development by community housing development organizations specifically. The City of Fresno will request applications from developers for funding to develop units affordable to low and moderate income persons that meet the guidelines of the home program. For public infrastructure improvement projects, the city is proposing the following activities. $1,797,577 of CDBG funds are proposed for Erickson Elementary neighborhood street improvements. This project is located in the Erickson Elementary neighborhood, bounded by Clinton on the north, Winery on the east, Normal on the south, and Chestnut on the west. This request is for Year 2 funding for the construction phase of the project. The proposed scope of work includes removal of barriers to ADA access, road reconstruction, and installation of ADA curb ramps. $325,860 of CDBG funds are proposed for Ivy Annadale to Chester neighborhood street improvements. This project is the second phase of improvements to the West Fresno Elementary neighborhood and is located on Ivy from Annadale to Chester. The proposed improvements include removal of barriers to ADA access by reconstructing curb ramps, sidewalk installation, and roadway pavement reconstruction. The project also includes a section of sidewalk improvement on Chester Street. $524,600 of CDBG funds are proposed for the Webster Neighborhood Canal Barricade Project. The project will install a guardrail along the Dry Creek Canal near Clark and Floridora in the Webster Elementary neighborhood. In program year 2019, this project received funding for preliminary engineering. Design plans are being finalized and the project is ready to move into the construction phase. $40,700 of CDBG funds are proposed for Year 2 of 3 of the Yosemite Middle School Complete Streets project. This is a second year of a multi-year neighborhood reconstruction project located on Floridora Avenue between 9th Avenue and Cedar Avenue. In program year 2020, funding was provided for preliminary engineering and right-of-way acquisition. In the current program year, additional right-of-way funds are requested. Improvements include the installation of sidewalks, street reconstruction, new railroad track panels for ADA compliance at 9th Avenue and 11th Avenue, street lighting modifications, curb and gutter, new driveway approaches as needed, and miscellaneous corrective work to private property frontage. CDBG funds will be sought for the construction phase in program year 2022. For community services, the city is proposing the following activities. $630,737 of CDBG funds are proposed for Parks after-school programs. Parks will provide after-school enrichment activities for youth at 10 neighborhood park and community center locations serving low and moderate income neighborhoods. $164,976 of CDBG funds are proposed for Parks senior enrichment programs, providing social activities, virtual programs, educational presentations such as elder abuse, money management, or health and safety, and numerous resources to help maintain and improve the physical and social well-being of all participants. The program is an essential lifeline for some of the elderly who have nowhere else to go. The activities will accompany the existing Senior Hot Meals program, which will serve approximately 38,000 meals to help supplement their subsistence and improve well-being. It should be noted that Parks will also use project savings from their 2020 allocation, bringing the total expected to be expended during the program year to $718,000 for after-school programs and $187,800 for senior programs. $83,490 of CDBG funds are proposed for Boys and Girls Clubs of Fresno County's clubs in East and West Fresno to provide education, job training, and recreation to youth ages 6 to 18. As a youth development organization with skilled, caring professionals, the clubs on these two properties will provide culturally relevant programs, helping kids shape their paths toward great futures. This funding will be used to provide after-school enrichment programs that include educational and recreational activities, job training, job search, and interviewing skills to young people living in low-income, high-crime neighborhoods in East and West Fresno. $40,000 of CDBG funds are proposed for Economic Opportunities Commission's Street Saints Educational Enrichment Program to offer educational and developmental services for youth residing in the 93706 zip code through a combination of virtual and in-person after-school activities dependent on COVID-19 restrictions. Fresno EOC Street Saints will provide mentoring, homework support, and education on issues pertinent to the population, including COVID-19 health and safety, which will include outreach to parents. $50,000 of CDBG funds are proposed for Fresno Interdenominational Refugee Ministries' Southeast Asian, Slavic, and African Healing Gardens for Elders, which provide essential outlets for low-income Southeast Asian, Slavic, African, and other refugee elders to reduce stress, socialize with friends, and increase access to healthy and nutritious foods. FIRM will provide operational support for 4 community gardens located in the city of Fresno and will host monthly elder gatherings with nutritious meals for low-income refugee elders who are 62 plus, who speak Hmong, Lao, Khmer, Russian, and other languages. The city also proposes to issue a notice of funding available for $85,000 to identify activities to support fair housing outreach, education, and referral services consistent with the recommended activities of the 2020 Analysis of Impediments to Fair Housing Choice. Services will be selected to support tenants, landlords, prospective home buyers, and real estate and lending professionals. For more information, view the 2020 Analysis of Impediments to Fair Housing Choice on the city's website, which we'll show later in this presentation. The city welcomes public comments on its proposed activities. In this section, we'll discuss the annual action plan timeline and how members of the community may submit comments. This is the schedule for the development and approval of the annual action plan. As we discussed earlier, the city conducted a needs assessment in January, which included 2 public workshops and a public hearing to request information on community needs. The city then released a notice of funding available to request applications from interested organizations and units of local government for activities to be funded in the Annual Action Plan. That brings us to today, with Annual Action Plan available for public comment through April 20th, 2021. There will also be one final public hearing where members of the public can provide input on the plan before the city submits its final version to HUD on April 22nd, 2021 at 10 a.m. After the public hearing, the City Council will consider the plan for adoption in time for the city to meet that HUD deadline of May 15, 2021. Note that the Affordable Housing Development and Substantial Rehabilitation NOFA is released on a different timeline and is expected to be issued on May 17th and due on July 5th. The city will also be issuing a Fair Housing Services NOFA on a different timeline as well, and will announce those dates on our website and through our mailing list. We welcome and encourage all input. The key ways that you can provide additional input are online by web survey at surveymonkey.com/r/GGBHK27, by email to hcdd@fresno.gov, by phone to 559-621-8300, by touch to type at 559-621-8721, or by fax to 559-457-1579. Comments are also accepted in writing to City of Fresno Planning and Development Department, Attention Housing and Community Development Division, 2600 Fresno Street, room 3065, Fresno, California 93721. Members of the community are also encouraged to provide comments at the City Council public hearing on April 22nd, 2021 at 10 a.m. or thereafter. Participation instructions will be posted at least 72 hours in advance of the meeting at https://fresno.legistar.com/calendar.aspx. For more information, please visit our website at www.fresno.gov/housing. There, interested persons may read the draft annual action plan in its entirety and keep up to date on other planning activities. Thank you, and we look forward to receiving your input and comments on the 2021 to 2022 Annual Action Plan.